The night was a blur of white. Snow fell so thick it drowned the headlights, swallowing the winding mountain road. Ethan Hale gripped the steering wheel, his jaw clenched tight. He hated driving in weather like this, but his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, had a fever that just wouldn't break, and the nearest hospital was 2 towns away. He was the CEO of HAL Biotech, a man known for solving impossible problems. But tonight, he was just a desperate father, praying his little girl would be okay. Then, out of the swirling chaos, his headlights caught movement of figure on the roadside, huddled in the snow. At first, Ethan thought it was just an illusion, a trick of the storm. But as he slowed down, he saw her, a young woman, clutching 2 tiny infants to her chest, her thin coat wrapped around them as she shivered violently. Her lips were blue, her eyes wide with fear and exhaustion. He slammed on the brakes and jumped out. The wind cut through his coat instantly. Hey, are you okay?" he shouted over the storm's howl. The woman blinked, disoriented, clutching the babies even tighter. "Please, ... help us," she whispered, her voice hoarse and cracking. "They're so cold, ... double quotes." Without a second thought, Ethan scooped one baby into his arms, carefully covering it with his own coat. He then helped the woman and the other baby into the warmth of his SUV. The moment the heater blasted warm air, she started sobbing, a wave of relief and despair washing over her. He could see the exhaustion etched onto her face, dark circles under her eyes, trembling hands, and clothes soaked through. It looked like she hadn't slept in days. "I'm Ethan," he said, keeping his voice as calm as he could manage. "You're safe now. What happened?" She pressed a trembling hand to her mouth. "I'm Clara," she managed to say. "I was driving to a friend's house. I lost control on the ice. My car's stuck somewhere back there. My phone ... had died. We've been out there for hours ... Ethan's heart sank. He glanced at the baby's tiny twins, maybe 6 months old, both crying weakly. Turned the heat all the way up. "You did the right thing staying close to the road," he said. "We'll get you all warm first." When they reached his cabin, a private winter retreat he used for escaping work, Clara could barely stand. He carried the babies inside while she followed, limping slightly. Within minutes, a fire roared in the fireplace. He wrapped the twins in soft plush blankets, gently rubbing their tiny hands and feet to bring back the warmth. Clara just sat near the fire, staring into the flames as tears streamed down her face. "Thank you ... I thought ... double quotes." She couldn't finish the sentence. Ethan handed her a steaming cup of tea. "No. You thought no one would find you," he finished for her, his voice soft. "You're here now. You're safe." As the storm raged on outside, Clara slowly began to open up. She was a nurse from Seattle, she explained. A few months ago, her husband, also a nurse, had been tragically killed in a hospital accident, attacked by a patient during a night shift. She'd tried to keep their small apartment, but the mountain of medical bills and expenses for the twins had buried her. When her landlord evicted her, she packed everything she owned into her car, hoping to start fresh with a friend who lived several hours away. But then, "The storm," she said, her voice cracking. "It just kept getting worse. I didn't even know where I was anymore." Ethan listened in silence, his heart heavy. He recognized that pain, the soul-crushing ache of losing everything. His own wife had died 3 years ago, leaving him to raise Lily all by himself. He knew what it felt like to wake up every day and wonder how you were going to survive another one. Just then, Lily, now awake and wrapped in her own blanket, peeked from behind the couch. Her fever had eased a bit, but she still looked pale. She stared at the 2 babies, a flicker of curiosity in her tired eyes. "Daddy," she said softly. "Are they angels?" Ethan managed a faint smile. "They might be," he replied. "They came in the snow." That night, Clara and the twins stayed in the guest room. Ethan stayed up, checking on Lily and tending to the fire. Every so often, he'd hear the faint cries of the babies, followed by Clara's soothing lullabies. Her voice, soft, tired, yet so full of love, echoed through the quiet cabin. The next morning, the world outside was a pristine blanket of white. Ethan made breakfast while Clara helped feed Lily her soup. It was strange, the 2 of them, a little girl and a young mother, seemed to understand each other without saying a word. And for the first time in months, Ethan heard genuine laughter in his home. Over the next few days, as the roads remained blocked by snow, Clara stayed. She insisted on helping, cleaning, cooking, even checking Lily's temperature and medicine schedule with her professional nurse's touch. And Lily absolutely adored her. Ethan found himself drawn to Clara's quiet strength. Despite her own grief, she would smile when the babies giggled. Despite her exhaustion, she was always the last one to rest. One evening, as they washed dishes together, he noticed her hands were still trembling.
Oh.
"You don't have to do all this," he said gently. She offered a faint smile.
Oh.
"It helps me feel it's useful again." Ethan nodded, understanding more than she could possibly know. When the snow finally cleared, Ethan offered to drive her to the city and help her find a place to stay. But as she started to pack, Lily burst into tears. "Don't go," she pleaded, hugging Clara's leg with all her might. "You're our snow angel." Clara's eyes welled up. She looked at Ethan, completely torn. "I don't want to be a burden," she whispered. Ethan hesitated for a moment. "You're not," he said quietly. "You saved my daughter's heart. And maybe mine too." After a long pause, he added, "Stay, at least until you get back on your feet. I can help you find work. Our company hospital could use someone like you." Clara stared at him, speechless. Then slowly, she nodded. Weeks turned into months. Clara began working as a nurse in the company's wellness center, and the twins grew stronger and healthier every day. Lily became their proud big sister, always helping to feed them or play with them. And Ethan, who had once buried himself in work to escape his pain, found himself rushing to come home. His house didn't feel empty anymore. It felt like a home. One snowy evening, exactly a year later, they stood outside that same cabin. The twins, now toddlers, waddled around in the snow as Lily helped them build a crooked little snowman. Clara turned to Ethan, a soft smile on her face. "I still remember that night," she said. "If you hadn't stopped," he shook his head. "If I hadn't stopped, I'd still be lost too," he replied. The snow fell gently between them, the world quiet and bright. Suddenly, Lily shouted, "Daddy, Mommy, Clara, come see our snow angel." Clara froze, her eyes wide at the name, but Ethan only smiled, his heart full. He looked at her, took her hand, and whispered, "She's right, you know." And for the first time in a long, long time, Clara didn't cry from pain. She cried from peace. Because sometimes the people you save are the ones who end up saving you. Even in the coldest storms of life, a single act of kindness can light the way home. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more content that inspires. We'll see you in the next one.